My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Madagascar 3 Europe's Most Wanted. And this review will have spoilers, so there's your warning. But this has always been my second favorite of the franchise. It has gone 2, 3, 1. But on this latest rewatch, I would actually change it to 2, 1, 3. I still like this movie and it's a solid ending, but I definitely have issues. But let's begin talking about the cast. And Ben Stiller, Chris Walk, Jada Pinkett Smith, David Schwimmer all do a fantastic job. These characters are just iconic by this point, and they bring so much life and personality into them, and they elevate this entire movie. Sacha Baron Cohen continues to be very amusing. I thought the romance with him and the bear was a funny subplot. Tom McGrath and the rest of the penguins are still standout side characters, like they are so hilarious. But we've also got a bunch of new characters here. Jessica Chastain, who I think is very likable and very charming. Bryan Cranston, who I did not recognize his voice. Like, he does not sound like Bryan Cranston, so he does a great job. And Martin Short, who I thought was amusing. But the standout of this movie is Frances McDormand as the villain. She is so delightfully over the top, and she manages to be both hilarious and a legitimate threat. And anytime this character is on screen, I was just captivated. Really great character, really great performance. So the entire cast is a real strength of this movie, and I do like the story being told. Like, throughout these movies, these characters have been desperate to return to New York City. So what does this movie do? It gives it to them, and it makes them realize that they don't want it anymore. And it shows how far they've come, it shows how much they've matured, and I think it is the perfect direction for this movie. That scene when they're outside the zoo and Alex is just like, it's smaller than I remember, and Marty's like, that mirror doesn't capture it. And Marty apologizes for leaving the zoo, and Alex is just like, Marty, you leaving that zoo was the best thing to ever happen to us. It's just some nice emotional payoff to this franchise. And when they do get captured and they're trapped, you just feel how claustrophobic it is, and I thought that was a very effective note. You've also got the plot where they turn this terrible circus into a real hit, and I just thought it was unique and entertaining. Nothing amazing, but it did its job. And we've got the lawyers revealed plot where the gang lies to the circus animals about them being circus animals themselves. And I'm not the biggest fan of lawyer revealed storylines, but it does a fine enough job with it. So I do like the story and the directions it takes. I think the animation continues to be very good. Actually, it's most impressive in this movie because those circus scenes are just big and bright and colorful and stylistic, and it gives this movie a unique look. The movie can be exciting. There's a car chase early on, which is just fantastic. Loved it. The movie can be very funny as well. I laughed quite a bit. And the movie, like I said, does have some nice emotion. I also really love the score by Hans Zimmer. It would be nice if the score for this movie was available on Apple Music in Canada, but I guess not. So there's plenty to love here. But I got a few issues. The first one is the opening of this movie. Look, I know Bonnie Mac tragically passed away, but it is so weird that we don't get a goodbye between Alex and his parents. And I get they wanted to tell this story, but it just seems weird they would leave Africa in the first place. So, it's an odd note to begin the movie on, but I do get past it. I do think the climax actually feels really rushed. I loved how trapped they feel, but the entire rescue mission just goes by way too fast, and it just lacks any emotional weight. Like, the best DreamWorks movies have emotion in the climax. Whether it's Madagascar 2 or Shrek 1, Shrek 2, Shrek 4, Kung Fu Panda 1, Kung Fu Panda 2, How to Train Your Dragon 1, 2, 3, Chicken 1. But this movie, I don't know, it didn't really work for me as much as I would have liked it to. It kind of reminds me of Saw the Final Chapter. Yeah, Madagascar 3 reminds me of Saw the Final Chapter because in Saw the Final Chapter, the guy makes up a story about how he escaped from Jigsaw, and at the finale of that movie, he has to do what he lied about. And in this movie, Alex lies about his circus act, but in the climax, he has to do that made-up circus act. Anyways, my other big issues is the Afro circus bit is annoying, it feels catered to kids, and it does not work for me. And I love the music in these movies, but this movie uses the song Fireworks by Katy Perry twice, and first of all, that's a terrible song, and secondly, I just think it takes away from the moment. Like, I don't know why they insisted on using this song. So, I do got issues with it, but I still think there's a real strong story being told. I love these characters and spending time with them, and it does plenty of things incredibly well. It's just not to the same level as the first two. So I'm giving Madagascar 3, Europe's Most Wanted, a 7 out of 10. Apparently there was supposed to be a fourth movie, but then it just fell apart, and I do find it weird that this franchise didn't keep going. But anyways, Madagascar 3, Europe's Most Wanted. What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon. And Gavin